Welcome to your first video of Module 2. So today we're going to be learning about something called logarithms. All right. I know we saw them a little bit last unit. We didn't really talk about what they were. We kind of just learned that they were the inverse operation of exponents. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of dive in and really start to understand what a log is. So in its simplest form, a logarithm answers the question, how many of one number do we multiply to get to another number? Example, how many 2's do we multiply to get 8? The answer is, well, we need to multiply 3 2's to get to 8, so the logarithm is 3. So the way that we would write this is log base 2 of 8 equals 3. And what this means is that it's going to take 3 of these for us to get an 8. All right, because 2 times 2 times 2 is going to give us an 8. So here they're just showing these two mean the same thing, right? Multiplying 2 3 times equals 8. Log base 2 of 8 is going to equal 3. All right. The number we multiply is called the base. So we say that the logarithm of 8 with base 2 is 3. Log base 2 of 8 is 3. Or the base 2 log of 8 is 3. Probably the most common is this, log base 2 of 8 is 3. That's probably how I'm going to say it most often. So yeah. So we'll go ahead and look at this first one. It says, what is log base 5 of 625? So what they're asking is, how many 5's is it going to take to get to 625? Well, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625. So that tells us that log base 5 of 625 is going to equal 4 because it took 4 5's for us to get there. Next it says, what is log base 2 of 64? So we need to know how many 2's is it going to take to get to 64. 2 times 2 times 2, we know we're at 8. 16, 32, 64. All right, so it's going to take 6 2's to get to 64. So log base 2 of 64 is going to be equal to 6. So the definition of a logarithm for all positive numbers a, where a does not equal 1, and all positive numbers x, y equals log base a of x means the same as x equals a to the power of y. All right, so I'm sure you looked at this and you're like, oh my goodness, what does this mean? We're going to go a little bit more into this to kind of talk about what this means. But essentially, if we think about this, really what we're doing is we're raising 2 to the 6th power, right? 2 to the 6th power gives us 64. And that's what they're showing us here, is that these essentially mean the same thing, just rewritten differently. So exponents. Exponents and logarithms are related. Let's find out how. So when we have exponents, we talk about a base, right? When we have a base and a logarithm. The exponent says how many times to use the number in a multiplication. So here we know that 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. So a logarithm answers a question like this. So what it does is a logarithm gives you the base and tells you what number you want, and you have to figure out how many, or you have to figure out what the exponent is, essentially. You're solving for the exponent. All right. So if we look here, this, I kind of looked at this and I felt a little bit overwhelmed, but all this is showing is how you go from writing an exponent to writing a log. All right. The base is the same. And then inside the log, you put the number you're trying to get to, and then that's going to equal the power, or how many times you're multiplying. All right, and this is kind of just another way of showing that transition from exponent to log. And then again, we have what's called the general case going from exponent to log. This one I felt like was the cleanest, showing how to rearrange. So for example, well, actually, I'm going to do some examples, but essentially what's happening is you're just rearranging things, right? That's all we're doing. So if we look here, it says rewrite each equation as in exponential form. So we have to look, okay, they gave us the log, and now we have to rewrite it in exponential form. So I'm going to leave this up here so you can see it. Our base here is 16. And if you look, when you're going to exponential form, the base of the log becomes the base of the exponent. So that's going to be 16. Your answer becomes your power. So it's going to be 16 squared, and then that is going to equal 256. All right, let's try number 2. Our base is going to be 9. Our exponent is 2, and that equals 81. So all we're doing is rearranging these numbers. All right, let's go ahead and try these last 2. So now they want us to write it in logarithmic form. So let's start. We know we're going to have a base of 4, so we're going to have log. And then you make the 4 small. And then what's inside the log is your answer, 2. And then that's going to equal the exponent, which is 1/2. Let's try the next one. We got a base 3, so log base 3 of 256.